Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti. We are currently exploring the scripture Mysticism of Srimad Bhagavatam. Commentaries by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda ji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilanand. So let us continue today's satsang. We will be covering the four values of life, which are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And it's very important for aspirants to understand these values so we can integrate our daily life. Dharma is the ethical value, which implies knowing what is wrong and what is right, and constantly striving to follow the path of righteousness even in the midst of trials and temptations. Dharma should be the foundation of all one's goals or values in life. That is the foundational value, like the foundation of your home. The next value is artha. Artha is the desire for material prosperity. Although such prosperity is surely important, you should not gain material security by outstepping the laws of dharma. If you do so, you are feeding the demon of materialism within you. You are feeding Bhaumasura or Narakasura and will suffer from constant unrest of body and mind. Material prosperity that bypasses ethics, pampers the ego, increases greed and hate, and deprives us of peace and true happiness. The moment wealth dominates our mind and we have no other spiritual and ethical basis, our life becomes hell. Hell means Narak, therefore the name Narakasura, here and thereafter. And the third value of life is kama, or the vital value, which motivates one to secure the enjoyments of family, friends, and society. Kama, desires. Finally, moksha or liberation is the infinite spiritual value of life. Moksha is the goal of the soul's journey through the world process. By attaining moksha, one becomes free of the cycles of birth and death. Miseries of life come to an end, and the soul discovers its identity as Brahman, the embodiment of infinite bliss. According to the scriptures, one should acquire a firm understanding of dharma and on that basis become economically prosperous and develop meaningful relationships with friends and family. As a result of this success, by the end of one's life, the mind is centered on God and nothing else. This should be the ideal balance of the four values, which are dharma, artha, kama, moksha, in the life of a spiritual aspirant. Bhaumasura's thievery. When Bhaumasura snatched the umbrella of Varuna, he stole the mystical umbrella of righteousness. Varuna is the god of treasure and his mystical umbrella represents dharma. When it rains, which is to say, when there is adversity, his umbrella of virtue protects his wealth. But Bhaumasura snatched that umbrella away from him, just as one's lower nature can easily rob one of ethical values and all the protection that these values offer. Next, the demon stole the earrings of Divine Mother Aditi. Aditi is viewed as the mother of gods. She is a Devi and her earrings are extremely valuable. Mystically, her earrings do not refer to diamonds and pearls but to the ability to listen. They glorify the ears. Listening to the divine glory is the best adornment for your ears. If Bhaumasura possesses you or us, then we lose the capacity to listen meaningfully. We listen to the vanities of the world, but not the spiritual truths. Next, Bhaumasura stole from the gods a mountain called Mani, Parvat, a mountain of jewels. That mountain of jewels refers to the mountain of divine virtues, Daivi Sampat. which is the basis of sattva or purity. Thus, when Bhaumasura thrives within us, we lose ethical values, we lose the power of listening, and we lose the basis by which we are able to promote divine qualities. This corrosion of values is figuratively represented by the thievery of Bhaumasura, stealing away these good qualities. Satyabhama and Garuda. Our soul, the potential Krishna within, rides on Garuda bird, accompanied by Satyabhama. Garuda is the symbol of intuitional vision. Like the sun's rays pouring from the sky, his beaks and claws tear apart the darkness of ignorance. Satyabhama is that state of samadhi in which truth shines through. When you reach that state and have a glimpse of the divine truth within, you will not fall under the sway of materialism. And that's the name, meaning Satya Bhama. Satya is truth, Bhama is effulgence. So matter will not be viewed by us as something substantial and tantalizing, but as something illusory and subservient to spirit. And that is when the transformation occurs, when the glory and glitter of diamonds, gold, material objects, sense pleasures starts to fade away, and we see them, but we recognize the divinity within us of a much higher value, the value to pursue instead of these temporary and transient things. So Mura in Sanskrit means that which entangles. So the demon's 5 heads who fought with Krishna refer to the 5 objects of the senses: something to see, something to hear, to smell, to touch, and to taste. So these are the 5 senses representing the heads of Mura. When you are obsessed with material wealth, then we are always thinking about how to satisfy the demands of our senses. We become entangled in the illusion that the world abounds with an endless assortment of sense delights that we must rush to enjoy. When a person becomes suddenly rich, he immediately plans to go on fantastic vacations, places, eat exotic dishes, and gather new experiences. However, the truth is that no matter where we go, we are facing the same world of 5 elements and the same 5 objects of the senses. Names and forms will differ, but the essence remains the same. Once the temptation of the 5 senses is overcome, we are in a position to attack that subtle principle of the lower self that directs our mind to material values. So by the destruction of Mura, the mind has become free of the illusions of the senses. Immediately after Mura's destruction, Krishna destroyed Mura's 7 sons, who were symbolic of various impurities of the mind. Finally, freeing the 16,000 princesses. If material prosperity is given the greatest emphasis in our life, then Bhaumasura or Narakasura within our heart has imprisoned thousands of wonderful feelings that we could have experienced. The 16,000 princesses held captive symbolize those imprisoned or thwarted sentiments, just like our blocked nadis. We have so much potential, but unless they open up, they will continue to be thwarted. When Narakasura, the demon who embodies in himself the evils that lead one to hell, is finally destroyed, the soul has overcome the 3 gates to hell. Passion is one gate, kama; anger, the second one, krodha; and third one is greed or lobha. Consequently, the sublime sentiments that were imprisoned within the heart become liberated, and they begin to flow to the divine self within us. So it's as if the channels within us open up and flood our entire being with divine nectar. With the destruction of Narakasura, the kingdom of heaven reigns supreme within one's heart. And with this, we conclude today's satsang, and we will continue this beautiful journey tomorrow. This is Swami Nikhilanand. Om Tat Sat.